Carolina Panthers finished 2-15 last season, last place in the NFC South Division. Bryce Young throughout last season was getting some heavy criticism. He wasn't playing very well and the media was letting him have it, asking if he is a bust. I saw someone say he belongs in the UFL. Panthers might have screwed up this pick, all that stuff. So is Bryce Young a bust? No. Number one, because he's a rookie. I think people nowadays just want the now. They want things to happen now. And I keep forgetting that things aren't what they used to be. People don't have patience anymore. They want this to happen now. They want that to happen now. They want a certain player to play well now. And it doesn't really work like that all the time. Not everyone can come to the NFL and start dominating, okay? I don't really see Bryce Young being just another guy that didn't really pan out too well in the NFL. I do think he will have some success. I just don't see that future for him for whatever reason. I don't really know why. People need to understand that these players need time to develop. They need time to develop, to be coached, to feel what it's like to fall flat on your face and allow these players to learn from it. I've always liked to give players at least 3 years in the NFL or any pro level. First 2 seasons, the player is allowed to mess up and, fall flat on his face. All right, but the 3rd season, he has to show me something. And if he hasn't shown me anything, then I'll start to consider that this pick was a bad pick. So, seeing how this was Bryce Young's 1st season, and now he's going into his 2nd season, let's wait and see what happens, okay? Let's just wait. Number 2, the team around him wasn't very good. The receivers, some games had a hard time getting open. In the beginning of the season, they dropped some easy passes, but the real problem was the offensive line. The offensive line struggled mightily to protect Bryce Young. All around, they never really bullied anybody. They were constantly getting bullied week after week. Guys being pushed on the ground, getting shoved left to right, getting beat with speed. They couldn't stay in front of their matchup. They were getting beat constantly, and Bryce Young didn't really have a whole lot of time in the pocket to go through his reads and try to make a play. So that offensive line was terrible. They did a very poor job of protecting Bryce Young. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for Bryce Young. He didn't play well either. When he was getting pressured, there would be times where he could actually escape the pocket and throw the ball away, but he didn't. He would play like Zach Wilson, to where Zach Wilson would have like 2 guys in his face and he's still trying to make a play. But while he's trying to make a play, he's running 10 yards backwards into the backfield, putting himself at risk of getting sacked, injured, turning the ball over, and giving the opposing team great field position, trying to force passes that weren't there, which will lead to incompletions and turnovers. And Bryce Young would do that. He would do that too. He just didn't know when to give up on a play. He would hold the ball too long, trying to throw with guys in his face, and that will lead to passes being thrown too high and receivers not getting a chance to make a play on the football. And Bryce Young doesn't really like pressure at all. There would be times to where he would get away from the pressure and be able to keep his eyes down the field and to find a receiver, but he just couldn't really make those throws even when the receivers actually were open or they had a guy beat. He struggled at getting them the football. Another problem that I had with Bryce is that he didn't consistently go through his reads. There were times to where when the pocket would hold up and he would look comfortable, go through his reads and make a nice completion. But then there were times to where he would lock on one receiver and the DB would read his eyes and make a play on the football and he would turn the ball over, which was a problem with all the picks that he threw. And he also didn't do a good job of having good ball security. He fumbled the ball quite a bit as well. So I would say Bryce Young needs to learn when to give up on a play, avoid taking sacks, avoid putting yourself in harm's way. Go through your reads when you have time. Consistently go through your reads, especially when you have time in the pocket. And do a better job of taking care of the football. There is some good to Bryce Young. He can't get it to someone who is wide open. I feel like I say that a lot about quarterbacks nowadays. But anyway, you can get it to someone who's wide open. Receivers don't really break stride. They don't have to make some acrobatic catch. They can just get the ball and just keep running for extra yards without slowing down. Bryce Young did show some ability of escaping and making plays with his legs, but that's it. He's got to do a better job of making tough throws as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah. So as far as the Panthers franchise, if they want Bryce Young to succeed, they got to help him. They need to find some good players to help him grow. Okay, football is a team sport. It doesn't take one guy to win a football game. They need to find some offensive linemen, which it seems like they did. this offseason. They drafted a wide receiver. Let's see, a wide receiver. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Shut up. Out of South Carolina, Xavier Legette, Legette, 6'1", 221 pounds. So they got Bryce a big target. So we'll see what happens from here on out. And of course, the coaching. They got a new head coach this offseason as well. So those are my thoughts on Bryce Young. Please like and subscribe. That is it. I am out.